Welcome to Confident Growth, the podcast for people who are passionate about personal growth and productivity. I'm so excited today because today's episode is double trouble, double the fun. I have my friend with me, Christel Buchanan, who's also a Christel. So we are going to have a great conversation because so many of you have asked for her to be on the show after you saw her on my Instagram stories, right? And I think that you have a fascinating story, Christel. You are somebody who went from TKGS, Tanjung Katong Girls School.
Secondary school.
Is it secondary school? Yes.
Yes.
You have to tell me the whole story.
Yeah.
And it went through many, many different unconventional life choices. And then now you are something of an inspiration to all of us, traveling around the world, forging, new sort of paths in AI. So I'd love for you to start off by introducing yourself and like how you got here to where you are now.
Oh, thank you so much, Christel. And hello to everybody as well. So I guess a short introduction. So my name is Christel Buchanan, and I'm the founder of ChatandBuild. Born and raised in Singapore. Actually grew up in Bedok, Tanah Merah, basically. So I went to all the schools in the eastern side. I know that a couple of your followers actually thought that I was smart enough to go to RGS, but sadly I was not.
You are definitely more than smart enough, my dear. Yes.
You're very
Please
kind.
continue.
Yeah, you're very kind. But yeah, because when I was growing up, I didn't really have a lot and I didn't have much. But what my parents always sort of instilled in me is that, education is really important. And I loved reading a lot. So I was one of those really geeky kids. To be honest, I wasn't very popular in school as well because I was the one holed up reading a lot of books, figuring out how do I make my first website, so teaching myself how to code and all of that. So that was sort of my very early days, my background in school.
Yeah, so were you a loner at
I was
school?
pretty much a loner.
So was I. I always felt like a bit of a weirdo, like the loner. When did things start to change for you? When you
Yeah, I think I would say that it changed for me when I was in JC, in my junior college. So I went to Meridian Junior College. I did pretty well with my O levels, but I kind of didn't want to again go to like the typical very popular junior colleges in the east side, which you can imagine what they are, Victoria, etc. So I was like, you know what? I want to try this new college which had an amazing campus, Meridian in Pasir Ris. So I went there, and I think that was when I really opened up because I was part of the initial group of students that could actually open up a cafe in the school, test out my entrepreneurial spirit.
That's a new one. I have not heard of that that initiative.
No, yeah, exactly. So that was something interesting that I never told you about before either.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was this cafe called?
It was called Perk Cafe.
Perk Cafe.
Perk Cafe.
And was this like a student, like did the students come up with this initiative, or did the school say, here's a project for you guys?
So the school was like, here's a project. This is like a new space. We should make this a fun and interesting cafe. Wow. So I actually went to the principal and I said, I think we should have Italian soda syrups from Monin because they're much more delicious. And then we can charge a higher premium as well.
Oh my God, you're so gourmet. Like always looking to arbitrage the market already.
Yes, exactly. That was what I was thinking about. I was like, the drink shop auntie, right, would basically be able to, sell the normal drinks.
Yes.
Then if people want to have a bit more of the atas feel, they can go upstairs and drink our Monin syrup drinks.
You remind me of, there were these entrepreneurial kids, and during recess time, right, there's a very limited time for all of us to get our food, and the queues are so long in the canteen for especially the popular stalls like the Western stall or whatever stall, right? And then I remember that I had some entrepreneurial friends who would like charge service fee to order for, they would queue up for you and then they would charge.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you can place your orders. Those are the olden days before GrabFood.
I must say I'm not entrepreneurial enough to do that, but that is actually a very interesting idea.
Okay, so like come back a little bit to TKSS.
Yes.
What was that like for you?
Yeah. So I was in a choir, but having said that, I'm not a very good singer. I'm an alto singer. So one of my favorite memories of the choir was when, we went to Genting Highlands for one of these performances and competitions. So I actually used to go to ACS Barker, the campus, to train a lot.
Right.
And that was when I went, wow, this is a really atas neighborhood. Bukit Timah, Balmoral. Wow. Where is this place, right? And I remember I was like, wow, would I ever have the chance to be in this neighborhood and in this sort of vaulted area? And I guess that was when I started having that imagination and that goal in mind that one day I wanted to be able to live here, buy a place in that whole area.
So like TKSS and then junior college, and then tell me, what was the university journey like for you?
Oh, that's a good story. So basically, I did okay, for my A levels. And in fact, I think I had almost straight A's except for a C in mathematics.
Right.
So fun fact, even for my O levels, I had an A for additional mathematics and I had like a B for like elementary mathematics. So I was one of those really weird people that I didn't like the ordinary mathematics. I like the more interesting mathematics.
Oh,
so
you're like an abstract, like very conceptual person.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, that was me. Mind you, this was like in 2010.
Okay.
So I was 20 years old. And at that point in time, I was also freelancing at an advertising agency.
Yes.
Doing graphic design work, websites, writing proposals and stuff. Just like, all the normal sort of internship kind of stuff. And okay, I'll come back to the NUS story, but I'll go for that story. So I was freelancing and kind of getting some extra pocket money, like as if the PSC money wasn't enough. I was doing that, right? So I was just doing it for fun, and it was quite interesting for me. And then one day I accompanied my then very very first boss into a meeting with Asia Pacific breweries.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And then
Tiger beer.
Yeah, Tiger beer, exactly. Then they're like, oh, this and that. What is this social media thing that's coming up?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, can I say something? The usual, right? And I was like, oh, you can do this or do that. I have a Twitter account and this and that. And they're like, oh, is this your new social media hire? Then my boss say, oh, yes, we just hired her. She's amazing. She's like a president scholar. I'm like, no, I'm not a president scholar. But no. Like, so basically talking me up.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, so after the meeting, I was like, oh, do I have a job now? And then he was like, okay, we are going to make a really, really big pitch to DBS Bank.
Yes.
And this is very important. I want you to work with the team.
Yeah.
And if we get it, I'll give you a full-time job. So I was like, okay, challenge accepted. So I did that. That was one of my, I think when I was like not 21, that was my under 21 highlight even till today.
Right.
Because I still remember working through that, going in for the very first time and presenting to the head of the consumer banking group, Jeremy Su, with my team, and then apparently what had happened after that, which my boss told me, once, my team and I exited the room, right? Mr. Jeremy Su was like, what are you guys doing? Did we just have like this 20-year-old come in and tell us how to do this? What do I pay you guys for? So that was, sort of the idea around it. Yeah.
Right. So you were 20 years old and this was like an internship or like
something like an internship.
Like an internship with like
it was called Havas. The media group was called Havas. It's part of the Bolloré group, basically. Yeah. So for me at that time, I had nothing to lose because one of my favorite sayings is that failing is always an option, but fear is not. Because once you're scared and you're like, what would people think of me? I always like to say, trust me, nobody is thinking about you because they're too busy thinking about themselves.
Yes. I totally believe that too.
Yeah. So it's like, don't worry, just go and do what you have to do and experiment because you will regret it if you don't. That's always my point. But anyway, that was my journey. One of my very dear friends he likes to share this story. So I kind of just went in and out of school, like of NUS thereafter for the next, 2-3 years. I literally passed on the dot.
Oh wow.
Like literally like my is it like GPA or CAP score? I think that in NUS is 2.5. Like literally 2.5. Can't be any more accurate than that, right?
What did you study?
Geography, Bachelor of Arts.
So interesting. I always thought like you would study like computing science or something like that.
No.
Because you ended up being such a like crypto AI person. Okay, great. I need to fill in the blanks between how did you go from FASS and social media to crypto and then all the rest of it.
Yeah, I like learning new things, definitely. But that's another topic which we will definitely come into.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel very uncomfortable talking about myself so much, but thank you very much for giving me the
I will
opportunity.
I will draw it out of you.
Yeah, I haven't spoken about a lot of this stuff for many years. In fact, I think even my husband doesn't know all these things about me. So
good. Please spill. I will make sure that Mike watches this.
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting for him.
Yeah.
Where were we?
So your dad allowed you to break your bond, and then
he lent me some money. Then we put it together. We broke the scholarship bond, and then I went in and out of NUS. That's right for the next 2 years or so. And I was
graduated.
Graduated. And then I was still at Havas, basically doing my job, building my personal brand at that point in time, which was a very social media centric one. This was before TikTok, so I was more of like a Twitter person, etc.
Yeah.
So, no, but I was very grateful for all the opportunities that were given to me because I was very young, and of course, it's not like as if I have all the experience in the world, but people were very kind to me, gave me the opportunities, allowed me to kind of see the world right. And my team back then, they were amazing as well. They gave me a lot of help along the way.
Yes.
I got to go overseas I would say beyond Thailand and Malaysia for the very first time. I went to, the company's HQ in Paris, in Porto in France, and I was like, wow, like a country bumpkin. My ex-boss even brought me to buy my first winter coat.
Wow.
He was like, you don't have a winter coat, right? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, we go.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He was very sweet. Very, very nice chap. We're still in touch till today.
Yeah, I love those little memories, those like little details that stay with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's like when we think back about the people we're grateful for, who mentored us and really took time. I think first bosses are so important.
Yes.
They're almost like healing parental figures in a way, if you have a good one.
Yes, exactly. And I think my ex-boss at that point in time really looked after me super well. But I think the funny story that I'll tell you is that, so after all of that, NUS actually asked me to come back to give the commencement speech in 2017. And I think that did rub a few people the wrong way from my cohort, especially because I was like the delinquent, right?
Yeah, yes.
I didn't really come to school.
Right.
I was like 2.5, and I don't even talk about whatever class honors. I literally passed on the dot.
Yes.
Basically, right?
And they asked you to come back because by that time you already been a successful entrepreneur. And I was at NUS in 2000. When was that?
2016 or 17, I think.
I was there. Oh my God. I missed your speech. I was there from 15 to 18.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I should send it to you.
Yes, I would love that.
I think it's 2017, I think. Yeah.
Wow, but what a full circle moment.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
I was very blessed because I was like, oh my God, what am I going to say, right?
Yeah,
and
what did you say?
Oh, I can't remember offhand right now what they are. But I think one thing that I did say was that it's really important to be adaptable. And you can't have an ego about who you are and everything else. Because I always believe that your values have to be rigid.
Yes.
But your how you maybe think about life and how you learn has to be flexible and adaptable, because otherwise you're gonna just die. It's like digital Darwinism, as we like to talk about it, right? Because you'll be killed off if you don't adapt, you don't evolve yourself, you don't meet new people. How we met, which is also very interesting, and you don't learn and you don't expose yourself to new things. So I think that was one thing that I said.
Okay.
And I think one of the other lessons I said, which is my favorite, is that failing is always an option, but fear is not.
Yes.
It actually came from a TED Talk by James Cameron, who is the director of Titanic.
Yes.
Yeah, so it covers his whole, that is one of my favorite TED Talks of all time. And I actually would watch it every single time. Like, some days you feel a bit low, your energy is not very good. I will go and watch that TED Talk, James Cameron, when I was a boy. Yeah, you should YouTube it. It's actually a very good one.
I'm gonna link it in the show notes.
Yeah. It's like I won't spoil it for you, but listen to it or watch it, and I highly encourage everybody to, listen to it today as well, whenever you see the podcast, because that's one of the most inspiring TED Talks I've ever seen.
What were your parents like seeing their daughter that was up on stage and giving that? Were they like also emotional or?
Yeah, I think they were quite emotional. My mom was very happy because she could finally take all these photos and show it off to her sisters.
Yes.
And then, my dad was like practicing at the time, iPhone just came out, right? Well, sort of just a bit more in the masses in Singapore.
Yes.
He was practicing all his iPhone skills, taking photos and stuff. So I was like, okay, that's very cute. But yeah,
Aww.
my father was actually really thrilled, not about anything else, but the fact that we had a special car park spot in front of the UCC. My dad was like, wow, we've got a special car park spot. We have made it. And I'm like, Dad, are you seriously saying that is your favorite moment of the ceremony?
Yes, I mean, I totally get it. That is the flex, right? It's like, the VIP spot has been the two bollards or whatever, they moved that away, and it's like,
my dad loved that moment. My dad loved that moment. He was like, that's my favorite moment. I'm like, Dad, I cannot believe you just said that. So I think backtrack a bit. So I graduated. I worked for Samsung for a very, very short period of time.
Yep.
Sort of like a first in, first out situation, basically. Didn't really enjoy my time there, if I'm honest.
Yep.
Because it's a very different sort of structure. But I made a few good friends that I still keep in touch to today.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what? I need to take a very short sabbatical. I went to Brazil for 2 months by myself. but I knew one friend there who actually was working at Havas, basically. So we were hanging out. I was meeting mobile app developers, in Brazil.
Why Brazil?
I thought it was interesting. I've never been there, and I wanted to see what the tech scene was like out of interest. So I went to Sao Paulo, I went to Rio, which was really good time. And I came back, and then Twitter contacted me. So Twitter actually tried to hire me twice when I was at Havas. This was before the IPO. And at that point in time, the only real reason why I said no was, one, they wanted me to move to San Francisco. But the problem is I hadn't finished my university degree. And that was my promise to my father. The second thing, and I'll be like, no, I can't just do this dropout thing. I'm not as smart as Steve Jobs. I have to finish my NUS degree. At least that's the one thing I have to do, right? So that was one thing. And the second thing, I was like, but I'm still doing this full-time-ish kind of job, and they've been very nice to me. I think I have to wait it out, So when they contacted me for the third time, I was like, okay, I think this is the moment, and perfect timing, yay! So they wanted us to be part of the first international team outside of the US, to basically open up offices in Australia, Middle East, India, Singapore, So that was the point in time when Facebook was in the Regis office, and even in Indonesia. I think it was Twitter and Uber and Facebook. We were all sharing a Regis office, like a service office in Indonesia as well. So those were the days, basically. So I joined the team. I was employee number 10 outside of the US.
Wow.
Yeah. And then painting the walls blue, bringing in the printer for Twitter. It was quite fun, actually. I was like, I feel very important. I'm buying the printer for Twitter and bringing it in,
I miss that old blue logo.
I know, me too.
Right? That X logo is terrible.
Yes. Oh, there are many things that can be said about that. Don't get me started on that point.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That's so fun. So what were the early days like in Twitter?
Everything that you may have read about, about Snoop Dogg and those stuff, completely true.
Wow. Yes. So those were like the cowboy days of like, those were like rock and roll days of equivalent of the tech startup.
And Elon actually came into Twitter at that point in time. And
you met him?
Yeah. And he was in a tan suit.
A tan suit, like a khaki colored suit. So what was he like?
He was actually really introverted, very shy, a little bit awkward.
Do you think he has like Asperger's or something?
He definitely does.
He's on the spectrum.
I mean, he's a brilliant man, and certainly I don't know how he does all his various multitasking. I mean, debatable, I would say, because he's very good, I think, at spotting talent, and spotting the right co-founders, raising money, putting his brand on it, and that's why he's done so many impressive things. And he does get into the technicalities of whatever the business is, whether it's electric cars or building rockets or this and that. So I give him that respect.
Yes.
But he's very different now versus then. Then he was like he was just out of PayPal, and I think he was just starting to do SpaceX. I think that was right. Yeah, that was about those days. And the PayPal mafia is huge in the Bay Area.
So when you met Elon, it was in San Francisco.
Yeah, because I was going there quite often. In fact, I was there for quite a few months before I came back also.
What were some other like memorable moments in Twitter?
Yeah, I think one of the more interesting ones was when Twitter was about to open up their office in Indonesia. And I was accompanying our country head for Indonesia. We were going down and seeing, prospective partners, the government, and Uber was also doing the same. And I think this is actually an Uber story, not a Twitter story. So, Indonesia is a very different market. You need to get a lot of government endorsement and involvement.
Yes.
So I think what had happened was that we were all sharing the same office, right? All the international American companies basically went to the same area to open up their service office, basically. So we were talking to the Uber guys, and they said, tomorrow we're going to put out an article in the Jakarta Post that Uber is now in Indonesia. And then my reaction at a point in time was, are you sure? Like, have you spoken to ABCDE?
Right.
I don't know anything. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yes.
They're like, no, we don't have to. We're Uber, right? Doesn't really matter. And I'm like, okay. So article came out. The next day on the Jakarta Post, an article, Uber is not allowed to operate in Indonesia.
Oh my God.
Because they didn't do the necessary.
Of course. They didn't do the protocols. Like, well,
additional protocols.
Yes, yes. And it would have been seen as kind of like disrespectful.
Yes, it was. It was very disrespectful. So I think they managed to rescue the situation, of course. These are the things that happen. So you have to be adaptable, basically. But that's one of my favorite stories.
Right. So I'm hearing that all throughout your career, you always seem to be very much in demand. There's always people chasing you, people asking you to join. I mean, it is clear.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, what do you think is that magic factor, or like, what do you think are some of the reasons why people were always asking you to join?
That's a very good question. I never thought of it before.
I mean, it's not so easy for most people, to be honest, because like on Instagram, I have a lot of people writing to me all the time. I can't get an interview, or I've interviewed, I didn't get a call back, and I always say to them, it's very, very hard to go through that procedure of job application or whatever. But if you are doing interesting things, if you're somebody who does interesting things, and has people skills and builds a network, it's very easy, because there will be no shortage of people from your network that are actually wanting to hire you. So I'm also curious about your perspective on that. Like, it seemed as if you never applied for anything on a job portal, and everything was from the network.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. And also, I feel that, no disrespect to HR teams and talent teams, right? They would always take a job application a bit more seriously if it's referred by someone in the company.
Yes.
I think that's also very important.
1000%. Yeah. It's like, who is willing to put their reputation on the line by vouching for you and forwarding your CV or something?
Right, exactly. So I think that's actually very important. And I agree with you 100%. I think having a perspective and an opinion and doing something interesting speaks more volumes than, like which company you might have been before could play a part. But if they don't know you, they don't see you, they see thousands of applicants dropping in resumes with all these good brands, right? What makes you stand out?
Yes.
So I think it's actually always important, first, if you really want a job at this particular company, maybe meet people there.
Yep.
And have a conversation with them first. Then build that relationship, and then maybe, who knows, one day something could happen. I don't think it happens overnight.
Right. But I think like when I meet successful people like yourself, what if the intrinsic precursors is actually curiosity?
Yeah. Just to add to your point, I think curiosity is very important. But the other thing as well is that when you're trying to it depends on what kind of job you want and what makes you happy, right? I think the opportunities that I've been very blessed truly to have had so far are very focused on growth.
Yeah.
On how to make that 0x to 10x.
Yes.
It seems like that has been my track record so far. Like, how do you go from 0x to 10x? You know what I mean? So whether it was Twitter, whether it was, Brandwatch, whether it was, whatever, everything else, Havas, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are kind of like a empire builder.
Maybe I wouldn't say empire, but I like building things.
Yeah.
I like scaling and building things. That's what I like to do.
Yeah. Can you also tell me a little bit about how you managed to go from an art student, FASS, like geography student, to someone who was doing crypto in the early stages, building like an Ethereum competitor, and then to AI. I mean, for so many people who write to me, they think that if I'm an art student, I'm an art student for life, or if I'm a science student, then I whatever. And like, I think you and me, we both didn't end up doing anything related. I studied law, you studied geography, and then we go on to have these like amazing careers in everything but how did you get there?
I actually think there's advantages to having a general degree like arts, law, if you like, because I feel that it actually gives you skills instead of just asking you to memorize something that's very rote curriculum. And I think that's actually quite important, because say, for example, if I took a business degree that's very generic, like an MBA or like a Bachelor of Business Studies or whatever, right? Yes, you do learn how to operate a business, but it's very operational, if it makes sense. It doesn't give you or expose you to all these other interesting ideas to let you connect the dots in a different way. Because, like, creativity to me is about seeing a whole big pattern of dots. Some people would draw a giraffe. I would draw an elephant, or etc. But you connect the dots in a different way based on your life experiences. And when you're pursuing something in arts, I feel you have so much exposure to different topics: political science, geography. Even within geography, there's economic geography, social geography, physical geography, right? You learn and see new things. Steve Jobs, very famously, when he was at Stanford before he dropped out, he actually took lessons in typography and class.
Yes. Yes,
You've
and
seen the
that's
story.
I
Yeah,
have. Yeah, that's a very famous story about how what differentiated Apple from everyone else was his aesthetics and his
yeah,
commitment to simplicity and design.
yeah, right, exactly. So an arts degree is actually very valuable. I
Yes.
might have said something about that actually in my commencement speech. I can't remember now, but I think I did say something about that. That
Great.
life is a tapestry.
Uh-huh.
All the back. When you kind of start putting it together, a lot of it doesn't make sense. But when you flip it over, you see this beautiful work of art. One of my ideas anyway.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
So how did the crypto idea start?
Oh yeah, so I was okay. So that's also another interesting one. So I was kind of done with Brandwatch already.
Mm-hmm.
So we grew the business. It was doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was time for me to try something new after about 3 years. And a very good friend of mine, then he was starting out this idea that the blockchain uh, was something to start taking a look at. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
was sort of like looking at that and Bitcoin, all of that, like very early on. But
Yeah.
we won't go into that topic for
Yes.
today. I would say we'll focus on this one. So, and this whole idea around smart contracts
Mm-hmm.
and basically being a competitor to Ethereum, and that was actually out of NUS, funnily enough. So a bunch of researchers who are working out of a think tank, if you
Yep.
like, from NUS. And I was like, oh, this is actually really quite interesting. And I always believe that actually a lot of the very best ideas can come up from universities,
Yes.
but they need help for commercialization, to bring it to the market,
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, Ethereum was $20.
No, don't say that. Oh my God.
So I like to say that I like spotting interesting opportunities that I know would be the next wave. So
Yeah.
social media,
Yes.
then of course blockchain,
Amazing.
now AI. Hey.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, for crypto it was so that was sort of the thing, and then we got to meet Vitalik Buterin, who's the founder of
Yes.
Ethereum. But yeah, so that was very interesting. I was with them full time for I think close to a year. We still keep in touch.
Okay.
A lot of the people that were original members of the project, they have
Yes.
gone on to start their own project. So I started my own project thereafter as well, which was very exciting for me.
Yes.
And then
What was that project?
Bolt.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Bolt, exactly. And then there was a streaming plus, there's some crypto element to it as well, which is exciting for us. So the business is still going on today, which is great. But I decided to leave late last year after 7 years in the business because
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of really focus and double down on AI because I was doing some experiments already. And I was like, I think this is going to be the future.
Yes.
And this has to be its standalone thing. So I wanted to
Yes.
do that.
And that's one of the most exciting things like I want to talk to you about, which is Chat and Build.
Yay!
Yes.
Chat and Build!
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I must say, okay, so for our audience, Christel has this amazing I don't even know what to call it, whether it's not a website, it's like a what would you say it is?
I would say it's like an app builder, like it's like like your Squarespace or your Wix.
Yes,
but you can
exactly.
build anything.
So like if
Yeah.
you know like Wix is a tool for building websites, even if you don't know HTML, it makes it really easy. So like Christel has founded a company called Chat and Build, where even if you don't know how to build app or you don't know what AI is or how to use it, you can like build an app in literally minutes by going to essentially chatandbuild.com.
Yes.
And there's like a Chat GPT style kind of like
Yes.
interface.
Yes.
And then you can put in something in your natural language, like, "Hi, I'm looking to make an app that builds me a course about career visibility," which is like what I tried doing, and like I was so shocked. Within a few minutes, it built me everything. It said, "Here's your website. Here's all the the landing page, the sales page, and like, do you want me to populate it with like LMS? Do you want like learning management system
Yeah.
and everything?" I was like, "This is insane." So I'll tell you what. I send this your because I am a angel investor in some companies as well. So I had another AI company that I invested in, and so I sent it to one of my fellow investors who was the ex head of research at CLSA.
Oh, you didn't tell me this
Yeah,
one.
I didn't tell you this. Yeah, so my dear friend, and Jason is a computing science like engineer. He's like a computing geek. He's a tech geek. He's the type that will read the Ethereum white paper inside out and understand how to explain to you Solana.
I love him already.
And like that kind of stuff and all that. So he's always like a little bit like, okay. So I sent him your Chat and Build website, and like he wrote back, and this is like one of the only times I've heard him being so positive. He was like, this is really very good. And I like the don't know what integration, and that she lets you, that Christel's website lets you choose your domain name and like sync up with it, right? It's just pretty incredible sort of thing. Anyway, I paraphrase, but
thank you.
That was a moment where I was like, wow, you're really something. You really have that ability to make magic happen and alchemize ideas into reality in such a short period of time. So Chat and Build is how many like months or years old?
We started building it properly January.
This year.
Yeah.
That's like insane. So you started building it in January, and then your team
late January,
and your team is like, I think about 20, is it? Like
about 18 of us now. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so from January till now, you hired 18 people.
Yeah.
You built an entire business, and it's functional, and I would say it's not even like beta testing. It's like it just works. And you've already managed to make it so that if I want to say like I want to build a course, or you shared with me there are people who've used it to build like language translators and like
PDF compressors.
And like what was it? Somebody used it to monitor the prices of vintage clocks on eBay and like bid on them automatically. So it's literally like any idea you can think of, you can just type it in and it builds you an app.
Yeah.
This is like so mind-blowing.
Yeah. No, thank you. I think that's the beauty and the power of AI, because if we take like even 2 or 3 years ago, AI was actually a domain that people didn't want to admit they were in.
Yeah.
Because they felt that AI was something that didn't work. It was airy-fairy and all of that. Good old-fashioned machine learning works.
Yes.
That was sort of like, I would say software 2.0, right? So if I wanted to kind of really characterize what we're going through as an evolution today, software 1.0 is, starting from the 1950s when you basically talk and code to like your terminal, your computer, right?
Yeah.
Software 2.0 is basically what we call neural nets and machine learning,
where
basically neural nets are able to talk to each other.
Okay.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Now, software 3.0, someone very computer sort of like, he's a researcher that I admire greatly, a computer engineer. His name is Andre Carpati. So Andre Carpati basically says that English is now the hottest programming language. But I actually respectfully disagree with him for once, because I actually think that any language can be a programming language. So we've actually tried, you can chat and build. That's why it's called Chat and Build.
Yes.
I cannot believe they actually have the domain name, to be honest. I actually bought the domain name while I was running in Botanic Gardens one day, and I was like, maybe Chat and Build is available, because I didn't know what to call the product. And I was like, oh my god, chatandbuild.com is available. Why is it that no one has actually bought it? You know what? I'm buying all the 100 top level domains related to this right now, right? Chat and Build, chat.build, chat and whatever. So, but I digress. So within Chat and Build now, you can build it in any language.
Yes.
We support 40 languages. So you can build it in Mandarin, in Korean, in Japanese, in Arabic, in Hebrew, in whatever. Like, I've actually even asked, my dad to speak in Mandarin, to build something. And he's like, 可以啊.
I remember when we met for the first time for dinner, you literally built me a Uno game by talking Chat and Build, and it just came out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
What is your favorite use of Chat and Build that you've ever seen?
Oh wow, there's so many amazing apps. I'll tell you, there's one interesting one. So we did a recent sort of hackathon.
The one with GovTech?
Yeah, the one with GovTech Singapore. Yeah, that's right.
Amazing.
A PE teacher with no programming knowledge, right? Like zero. He actually built a hand recognition tool.
What?
Yeah. And he integrated Google's machine learning model into it. It actually blew my mind, because I didn't realize how good our tool was. I was like, games, our website, this and that, all these interesting creative ideas. I get it. But you could actually go to your laptop, your camera, and you can do a thumbs up, and everything will come out. This is a thumbs up. this is rock on, you know,
Right.
rock on and this and that. Yeah.
What was the purpose of that? So it was trying to decode hand signals?
Yeah, so he was using that in class. He wanted to build that app so that he could use it in class to show the kind of movements that the students were supposed to do in his PE class.
Right. So like take me through like how would he use it?
I have no idea, to be honest, but he was telling us very
Animatedly.
and excitedly that he could use it in his class because he wanted to show people like, you know, this is like rock on, and this is thumbs up, you know, this is like whatever. And I was like, okay, that is actually quite interesting. I'll send you the link.
Kind of like codifying different kinds of hand signals, almost like semaphore or something.
Yeah, but it's in real time.
Yeah.
It's in real time. So basically you can turn on your laptop camera and you give this sign.
Yes.
And there will be an overlay saying this is a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
This is a rock on sign.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah. So he did it entirely in ChatandBuild with no programming knowledge.
Wow.
A machine learning app like that typically would take months, maybe months to build.
Yeah.
It will cost you maybe 80 grand.
Cool.
Now it just costs you X amount.
I love these stories. Tell me some more. What are some of the interesting apps?
Well, a friend of mine built a JPEG to PNG compressor, and then he cancelled his Adobe subscription. He was like, I don't need to go and purchase Adobe anymore for this and that. I'll just cancel it. Then he built his own PDF compressor, so he's very excited.
This sounds very Singaporean. It's like, okay, what subscriptions can I get rid of?
Yeah, actually, this was in the US, but yes, I think it's true. So it was actually quite funny because one of our team members, they're like, we should just build all these apps, right, and then monetize it. And I was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was saying to you that you should have a white glove option because there's people who don't even like. It's just it's a mindset that they don't want to kind of deal with it. And, since it's so easy, it'll be easy for you to kind of like have a team of even outsourced part-time contractors that can just be like, interfacing as the human interface with people who just want to tell somebody, go off and build this thing.
Yeah, that is true as well.
Yeah.
So we had a nurse at GovTech Singapore actually build a dementia game for her father. Who had basically dementia, like memory care. You have to enter. She has to enter his name first, and if the name wasn't correct, then he can't go through. Then he will play the memory game.
Oh,
that was actually a very nice use case as well.
Yeah, that's so touching.
Yeah.
Wow,
so there was quite
beautiful.
A few. Yeah. Then there's a very enthusiastic guy. I love his story. He was talking about how we should die with equal like a minded philosophy in mind. So he was talking about his whole app was basically talking about how you should have a water burial, you should put yourself in like this compostable tree, and I was like, okay, that's also a very interesting use case. But he generated everything by himself, and he was sharing with us, what that was like. Then we did one with the University of Oxford where I did my postgrad.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way, on your
Thank
master's.
You.
It's a master's in is it artificial intelligence?
Yes.
For business?
For business, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I was very fortunate to be able to do that about a year ago. Yeah, and then graduated. Yay.
Yes. Your second gown.
Second gown, yes. I got one more to go. I haven't finished it. Oh my god.
What, are you doing a PhD as well?
Oh no, I'm finishing my second master's.
Oh wow. In what?
That's in major program management.
Wow.
Because I think incredible. AI is a major program. So why I wanted to do it was because I wanted to see how we could apply AI adoption to governments, big organizations, because it's a huge change management project.
Yes. So coming back to the Oxford Hackathon.
The Oxford Hackathon, yes. So in Oxford, this is the funny one. There was a guy who built a what's in my drink cupboard generator. So if I only have one bottle of tequila and 3 limes, what kind of drinks can I make with it? So that was actually quite funny because he actually was generating this in real time and we were all laughing.
That was so funny.
It's a very typical, I think, British thing to do.
Like a very lad kind of like bachelor. Okay, I have like 1 apple, like 3 prunes, and I don't know what in my fridge. What can I have?
Yeah. So someone made that. So the guy made it for drinks. Another lady made a meal planner.
I need that.
Yeah, that's actually a good use case. And then another person actually made a refugee job connect site.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so
wow,
a lot of apps. Yeah.
I love how like your technology is so enabling and like it's really allowing people to celebrate their values. Because what I'm hearing from you is that it's just like a new generation who don't just want to work and spend their time working for like this faceless company that they don't care
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
But like all these stories you're talking about, even the man who planned his funeral, so is
Yeah.
the value I'm hearing is sustainability, right?
Yes, correct.
And then like, you know, the lady who has the father with dementia, that the value is like compassion or,
Yep.
you know, care and all of that. So like there's all these people who are really using your work to bring out in them to celebrate their own values. And
Yeah.
I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we definitely need help to see how we can transform all these builder stories, because we're starting to, sort of collect all these stories and
Yes.
share them,
Yes.
which I think is really, really powerful.
Mm.
And if I really had time, maybe I can figure it out. But because I'm trying to do all the tech and trying to
Yes.
supercharge, I think the problem with AI today, as
Yeah.
you would have seen as well,
Mhm.
is that it's so noisy in the space.
Mhm.
So many things are going on, and people in crypto, they're like, wow, crypto is so many things going on. AI is 10 times faster, quite literally. So I'm
Yes.
like, I do believe that this is the last company I'll ever build. Tech company.
Wow.
I can't do any more than this already. This is like the last one.
I think that's like a really, well, you never know, but you're still so young. You're in your
Oh,
30s.
yeah, that is also true.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, who knows how technology is going to evolve?
But I think with how AI is moving and everything else, I think to your point, what we are trying to do at Chat and Build is to give people the empowerment and the choice
Yep.
to take charge of their ideas and be able to build anything they want without relying on a computer science degree or an army of developers. At least have a working prototype and an idea
Yes.
and bring it to the next level. And
Yeah.
what we are trying to do is to also kind of have what we call native integrations and plugins
Yep.
and make it even simpler to put in like more stuff basically. So
yeah, I feel like we are living in the era of empowerment where, you know, talking about like anything from even for advertising, for example, we used to have to pay like a newspaper to run an ad. And now you have all the ad, like you can create social media for free and get to millions of eyeballs.
Yes,
and then like, you know, it's a great equalizer what you're doing as well. But like the other day I was just like, listening to a podcast and it was talking about how like they are building this sort of new language, master language, whereby you know, just like how HTML was the interface for like, you know, web pages and stuff like that. There's like apparently, and you would know this, some kind of like new language, so you don't have to like code APIs or separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you explain it? Like,
so there are different ways where APIs can be integrated seamlessly into apps.
Sorry, can we define APIs?
Okay. So API is basically what we call an application programming interface.
Yep.
So say for example, if you have a Stripe account,
Yep.
right, and you have Chat and Build, and
Yes.
you're building, say, a PDF compressor app,
Yes.
right, and you want to be paid $5 every time someone uses it. Let's just say,
Yes.
for example, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how can your Stripe account talk to your Chat and Build app? That's what it's called, an API key.
Yes.
So in your Stripe account, you generate a very unique, very long 25-digit sort of key. For example, they call it a key. It's like a password, right?
Yes.
To access your Stripe account.
Yep.
And you plug that into your Chat and Build app and say, okay, this is my API key for Stripe. Okay, put this in a nice, what we call environment variables file so that it will not be leaked out. Then you need to put things like rate limit. Okay, so I'm just sort of giving you the rundown now. So you need to put rate limits so that people don't abuse it, etc. Right? So that they don't modify it and do stuff, etc. Right? And then I can get my payment. So that's how APIs kind of talk to each other.
Yep.
Where I think the future of a lot of this sort of AI no coding platforms, so even for us, for example, we are trying to abstract that away.
Yep.
Because let's just say, for example, for an ordinary person, I don't know what's an API key. How do I copy and paste that?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it secure and everything? So we're actually trying to make that even simpler with like a very simple, like almost like a plug-in system. Okay, I drag and drop. This is my email account for Stripe. Can you go figure it out? Okay,
Yeah.
done.
Yes.
You know, that's what people want, right? So
Yep.
things will become even simpler.
One click.
And simpler, literally one click. Because as to your point, I mean, I love your story about social media because I'm a big fan of your social media account, as you know. Very big Christel fan. And I love what you've done with, you know, not just looking at social media trends, but also like responding to your followers, you know, looking at content themes that are going to stick, right? And you don't have to have your own newspaper advertisement anymore because your social media page is your content factory which is completely democratized and people can access you at any point in time,
Yeah.
or in a way, in a nice way,
Yes.
and give you not just ideas and inspiration,
Yes.
but also give you leads for your business and all of that.
Yeah.
Same way for this sort of, I would say, this revolution of AI building, AI-based building. That's what we're trying to democratize.
Yes.
You can build anything now.
Yes. It's so mind-blowing, this new era where we can reach so many people. And yesterday, as a side segue, I have been on this whole like informal public focus group about the public sector, because I posted this viral reel about like my thoughts on the public sector and so forth.
Yes, I've
right?
seen
And it
that
kind of
one,
went, and then like all these, like literally I was getting hundreds of messages every day, and to an extent where I was just like collating all these stories about like people's experiences in the public sector and that sort of stuff. And like Greg said to me, as a researcher who was from NUS, imagine you're trying to do a piece of research or write a paper. You have to like find people for your focus group, and you will need to pay them or incentivize them, and then they may come for the wrong reasons or not be the right kind of people, whatever. But Greg's like, the sheer staggering amount of data and the quality of the data that you have is crazy. It's like amazing focus group research study sort of thing. Because the thing is that the people who are talking to me with their stories were people who were from my community that have been talking to me for years about everything under the sun. So it's not like a bunch of people with an axe to grind about public service that have just suddenly, signed up for this focus group. It's like literally a quite, if you do it right, it's a very interesting like sort of phenomenon.
And I think that's not easy to achieve, because you have people that run, very successful social media accounts out there, but it doesn't feel quite as genuine or organic.
There's a term, we call it like hot and like warm and cool creators.
Okay.
There are some creators who are like very warm, like I'm very warm because I interact with everyone. If you like, at least I try to, unless Instagram like, cause they like to screen the comments. So like if you send me a comment that Instagram like says is like, oh, a bit problematic, like maybe you use a hostile word or something, then they will screen it. Otherwise, I will literally reply to every person's comment that is sent to me.
Fantastic.
So that's what's known as a warm creator. But there are certain very big creators, like say Alex Earl. Yeah, she's like huge. She's got millions on TikTok, but she never replies to comments. She doesn't interface with people. That's what's more of a cool creator.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's like in the past we have a lot of like cold creators because of like Instagram can be very aesthetic.
Yes.
So that you can post out and I think like a lot of celebrities, they just like post
curated.
Yeah, but you don't go and see like Kim Kardashian in the comments like replying to a lot of people, that sort of thing. But I think we're moving into this era of community, as you know.
Yes.
And community is almost like an abused word now.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people like come to me, like sometimes you have like certain companies that come to me like, oh, can we do a brand collab? We have a community. I'm like, you don't have a community. It's basically you're just selling a product. And you just have like a corporate page. But like where I'm really excited about is for us to have the capacity to use technology to build these watering holes online that actually lead to real relationships, just like you and me.
Yeah.
Like we literally became friends because of the online thing.
Exactly.
Where we had a kind of like DM relationship.
Yeah.
And so many friends, I would say like whoever, like Rachel or like Sarah Samuel, who came on my show and all of that, like so many of the people who I have had on the podcast who are my friends actually just started off as a online relationship and then blossoms into something that's intimate.
No, and I'm very grateful to have met you. Well, first through our mutual friend, and then thereafter really reconnecting on social and DMing back and forth. Like, okay, no, let's just meet.
Yes.
Let's just have dinner.
Yeah, and absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like from the day we met each other, it was almost like we were sisters. Like I just like feel
Christel
this sense
Christel.
Hey. Yeah, I just feel like this sense of familiarity. Like I can just like, whatever, pick up my phone and voice note you something random because I just thought of you. And with certain people, you kind of like, go through the
veneer.
Thought process is like, okay, am I messaging her too much? Am I appearing a certain way? Or like, should I like, whatever? But with you, it was just like, I think that I posted something.
Yeah, it's okay. You can do that with me anytime. And it's the same for sure. Likewise as well. Yeah. I feel like I can talk to you about anything really.
Yeah. And yes. And you know what? I also want to ask you, what are your what are your big plans for a ChatGPT? Okay.
It's actually good, because
Is it?
every time you type chat GPT, chat and build comes up.
Yay!
Hey!
So what are
Yeah.
the big plans or projects that you're excited about, Chat and Build, and anything else that's on the radar?
Well, my vision is very simple
Uh-huh.
because I think 8 billion humans should be able to create an app
Yeah.
and in any language. So that's my vision for Chat
Yes.
and Build. I want moms, kids. Oh, small digression. When I met my graduation,
Yes.
one of
Which
my
one?
students
Oxford?
in
Oh,
Oxford.
Oxford, yeah.
Yeah, in Oxford,
Yeah.
And then one of my friends who was part of the graduation cohort, she's like, "Oh my god, I showed it to my kids. They've been using it and building all these apps." And I was like, "Oh, that's great. Oh, they're here now." So she brings along these two beautiful young girls. One was 7 and one was 12.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh yes, I've been building this app." And I was like, "That was you." Like this 12-year-old built a marketing analytics platform.
Wow.
The 7-year-old built a spa booking app, which is very funny. So I was
The
like,
7 knows how to book a spa. What kind of bougie family?
No. I mean, they're not that bougie, but I thought it was quite funny.
Spa booking app.
She built a spa booking app.
Like she wanted to run, the 7-year-old wanted to have like her little mini hands massage spa at home.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're actually thinking about now, and then I had another friend who just literally texted me this morning. He was taking photos of his 7-year-old daughter building a taco stand app.
Oh.
So I was like, this is so interesting. Like we should do something that's focused on kids and
Yes.
education, like YouTube Kids,
Oh
but
my
for
God.
Chat and Build.
That is, I have so many parents who are moms who are asking for that. They're like, can you just have they're just like posting, can we have more kid friendly safe sandboxes?
Oh,
Because because we want our kids to experiment with technology, but we don't have the kind of wherewithal to like be hovering over them all the time.
We can do that. That's what I've actually been looking at together with the team over the last few weeks. How
That's
do we
so
do it in
exciting.
an interesting way? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously the kids now are using their parents' like email accounts and whatever lah, to kind of use that. But I was like, okay, we need to create a really kid safe environment.
Yeah, because then
to do that.
parents would give them the device. I mean, if it was like, okay, we're gonna you can use this. Yeah, but and how about in your personal life?
Yeah, so I was very blessed and very fortunate to have gotten married. I'm newly married.
Yes. Late last year.
September.
Your wedding looked absolutely gorgeous. Fairy tale wedding in Italy.
Oh, thank you.
And what I really loved about it, which I told your husband Mike, is that when I saw that you wore this white top hat for your wedding with a veil, I was like, whoa, who has the courage to wear like a top hat for the wedding? So that was like a really cool power move, I felt.
Oh, thank you. I did like the power hat. Power hat, I call it.
Very cool, very unusual, and you look absolutely chic in it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Well, my husband brings out the best in me. I would say, Greg probably does the same for you as well.
He actually has similar vibes to Greg. He's so encouraging. And one thing I noticed about Mike, your husband, he's very respectful. And that's something I am always like, I have my feelers out. The way Mike looks at you, the way he never interrupts. He never interrupts you.
Yeah.
He always is gracious. He speaks to you in a way that is very evident that he like is enamored of you.
That's very, very kind.
Well,
I love him too. I'm like,
no, it is true. And I think that you both have a very lovely relationship. So Christel, I also wanted to ask you, imagine that, you're giving advice to my followers. Many of them are in the process of contemplating their career. What kind of advice would you give them at this stage about making bold life decisions with regards to your career?
I think maybe there's some ideas, a couple of ideas, because I think one of the most important things is that I think it's very endemic in Singapore.
Yes.
People are so worried about what other people think about them.
Yeah.
And it kind of limits them, say, oh, I can't do this because, I should look a certain way and behave a certain way on social media or to my friends and my family. I need to portray that idea of success all the time. You know what I mean? Something like that. And I can't take risks.
Yeah.
Because but the truth is life is a ongoing management of risk.
Yes.
And that's why you have to be adaptable. You have to keep, sort of adjusting your risk threshold, that sort of thing, right?
I love that. So like you can't run away from risk. You can't avoid risk. Life is an ongoing management of risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think if you're looking to find a new job, I think never stop trying. Or maybe if you like, say for example, you want to apply to OpenAI. Okay, I just give you a very broad example.
Sure.
As because they're hiring right now in Singapore,
Yes,
and you're like,
yes.
oh, I want to work for OpenAI because they're the best company right now in
Yes.
AI. Okay, it might be helpful to do a bit of research and see who you can meet in OpenAI instead of just dumping a resume in there.
Yes.
And then besides thinking about OpenAI, look at the other 2 or 3 companies that are similar in that field, right? And meeting people there as well. Because it will also give you a sense of like, okay, beyond the brand and the glamour of maybe a certain job that you might want to do a career switch for, what is it really like in the industry? Is it really a good fit for you? And then you could, use that as an opportunity then to say, oh, maybe if there's any open role on this and that in the future, I mean, not on the first conversation, when you meet someone, right?
Yes.
Then build up that relationship and learn more about not just the company, but also them as people. I think that's actually quite important as a first start, I guess. And I know it takes a lot of courage to try something like that, but you have nothing to lose.
Absolutely.
I face rejection so many times a day because as an entrepreneur, it's true. Like, I have to go out there and, I'm not a big AI company, that is like raised billions of dollars or whatever, right? All I have is my persistence and my never say die. I will never give up. I will continue. I will be persistent and adaptable, and just keep going, make friends, see what happens. That's sort of my philosophy. But I encourage people to do the same. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Am I allowed to say that you have been approached by acquirers for your business?
Yes.
Yeah,
you can say that.
Yeah,
Yes,
so like, what's that like for you to be at that stage now? Like, must be super exciting. Have you been acquired before?
Not directly like that, no. I
Okay.
mean, for my previous company, we've had various discussions on whether we should do an IPO and things like that, but not. I mean, within the AI space right now, it's quite exciting. As I'm sure you've seen,
Yes.
Zuckerberg is throwing
Yes.
ridiculous amounts of money at
Everyone has
engineers.
FOMO at the moment. They're all trying to acquire AI plays.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So we've actually had not just one, but a few
Yes.
people approach us
I
already.
can imagine.
Yeah.
So what's that like for you?
Still a bit shocked, still processing, but I do the best that I can, and I kind of look at. I mean, for me, I think when we know it's the right one, it's the right one. But I keep the conversation open and going first because we want to see if it's going to be a good fit. Because when you get acquired or acqui-hired or whatever the combination would look like, it's not just the impact on me.
Yeah.
It's also the impact on my team.
Yeah.
It's the impact on my users, the
Yes.
community, the small and mighty community we have really been building.
Yeah.
And the partners that we have. How is that going to look like in the grander scheme of things? And that's what I want to try and work out.
Yeah, it's of course your baby, and you should be rightfully proud of it.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
always
you.
so proud of you, and
thank you. Very
like,
kind.
please do keep me informed about this whole journey because I find it super exciting as well.
Thank you so much. Thank
Well,
you.
anyway, I have loved every second of this conversation with you.
Thank you.
And we're also gonna like pop on the show notes like where you can find Christel. Please do go and check out her website and her amazing ChatandBuild. ChatandBuild.com is the domain.
Yeah.
And I will pop her Instagram handles and where you can find her in the show notes. But please do come back anytime.
Thank
and
you.
we're also looking forward to have you run some events for us in Deep Human Club and feature you in our fireside chats as well.
Yeah,
so look forward to
absolutely.
more Christel and Christel content.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us on Confident Growth, the podcast for people who are passionate about productivity and personal growth with our special guest, Christel Buchanan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.